Some warm, positive vibrations. Hopefully, you all are staying hydrated. So, grab your water in a wine glass, whatever the cleanest one is you have available. Greetings, this is Body-Culinary, sending you some warm, positive vibrations. And today, I just wanted to stop in just to chat and get some feedback to find out if any of you are taking in your beverages without added sweetener, without any kind of honey, agave nectar, sugar, aspartame, aspartame, if you're in the bodybuilding scene or if you're diabetic, are you able to take in your drinks and your beverages without sweetening them? And the other part of our question today, our contemplation, something you can contemplate in your quiet moments, is whether or not overeating, right? Overeating, is it something that is spiritual? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it emotional? All right. I'm saying that as someone that has been a junk food junkie, and although I have a smile on my face, it's a very serious thing, especially when we consider the rates of diabetes and high blood pressure in our communities. I know my family, there's a distinct pattern of morbid obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease. Those are all the diseases that run in paths, those comorbidities. So they're related. So that's what we're going to chat on today. We don't want to make it too heavy. I invite you just to consider these things, to just put them in your mental Rolodex, on your radar, as awareness, not with struggling or dieting. Awareness can be your shortcut. I like to give a lot of shortcuts that can be really, really useful. If perhaps you're one of those people that it's a priority for you, or it's important to upgrade your eating, not just for vanity and looks and hair, that's great, but also for longevity, right? For vitality. You may be one of those people. Maybe you consider, what do I need? This is what I ask all the time. What do I need my body to be able to do for me in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Even right now, we need the immune system to be very strong so that it can ward off these different diseases and bacteria. And we're always surrounded by bacteria and flukes. Yet, do we have an immune system that's strong enough to keep us grounded and healthy? So that's what we're going to chat about today. Stay tuned if you like this kind of content. Also, here's my quickie style of the day. I'm really just reinventing the style from yesterday. So I have very fine, cottony, delicate hair. I'm not oiling it. I'm not twisting it. I'm not doing any of that. This is a restful. I hear protective style. I'm over here, ease, rest, and relaxation. So I'm not curling. As I explained before, when I was a younger girl, we used to get this style with our hair pressed, and then we would roll it up with the pink sponge rollers, and it would be like this. I am just being creative with 2 little small hair nets, and I'm tucking the locks under. So even if your hair's medium or short, I think you can achieve this even if you have a loose double strand twist. So if my hair had not locked, I did not intend for it to lock, I would still be rocking the loose double strand twist. The least stress, the least amount of work, that's what I would be doing. Maybe I might still use some oil to detangle. But right now, no oil is working great for me, for my sheets, my linens, my clothes, and my face. So all I did from yesterday is reinvent the same style. So my locks are all flat. So I just put the 2 hair nets over it. And today I just added a flower because I love flowers. I call it my little I got a thing with Afro flowers. Go with me here. So if you're new to this channel, I'm Body-Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman. I love being a woman. Shout out to you, whatever your expression is. I'm also a mother. And I'm a lover of a natural lifestyle, or as close as I can get to it in the times that we are living in. I really enjoy it. And I share some of my journey of radical self-acceptance. So I returned to natural. It's been several decades, like over 3 decades of my return to my natural hair, really appreciating and celebrating and being creative with what I've got, right? Because it's for ease purposes. It's for being grounded mentally and emotionally. Not to mention, there's so many resources that are now siphoned back into my garden and travel and other things. that I deem are important pillars of my lifestyle. So it's like a personal revolution to me. Although I've been natural for years, just going the next level with seeing what my hair will do and going along for the ride and knowing it can be creative and I don't even have to use any products. It's like a whole epiphany. I've been set free. So today I just added one of my flowers. And I don't really do an outfit of the day, but I think I might start doing a little outfit of the day. Here's my little outfit of the day. I'm really into being comfortable because I usually have a lot of things to do. So I have some little vintage pants. I think these are so cute. These are nice and they're vintage. And they're cotton and wide legged and comfortable. I can jump on the bicycle. Now I do have several dresses with tire marks because I just have a thing about wearing skirts and dresses with on a bicycle. But anyway, these are super comfortable for the hot climate that I'm in. These are easy to maintain. I'm all about freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom with the hair, freedom with the clothes. Yeah, and vintage. So that's my quickie style of the day. Not even 3-4 minutes out the door. And I think it can be dressed up, dressed down. Denim if you're going out somewhere. Oh, so relaxing. Don't have to put much into it over there. So that's my quickie style of the day. So on this channel, Radical Self-Acceptance, I'm being creative with what I've got. I'm also a person that's had a tremendous amount of acne, dark marks, and scarring, especially as an adult. Very uncomfortable, especially as someone that I make the effort to really take care of my body, especially when I know what my family history is. So it didn't feel good to me to have to put on a lot of makeup, especially working in the fitness industry. I'm not anti-makeup. It's just not ideal for my everyday lifestyle. Maybe sometimes I'll play in it. Every now and then a little mascara. I am known to put castor oil and shea butter and cocoa butter. Those are my secret weapons on my eyelashes, right? And I'm into preserving what I have, and I want to enjoy my time in my body. I'm protective of my psyche from everyone pandering things to me and giving me problems that I don't have, right? Because before we had all these mirrors and we were little girls, we were just running outside and playing until somebody gave you their feedback on what they thought you looked like. So I've taken all of that off the table, and I am embracing over here health and confidence over beauty. And we're all really at our most beautiful when we are healthy. So easy, easy, easy. So I'm prioritizing my lifestyle practices. And those 3 lifestyle practices here are peaceful consumption, food that loves you back. That includes your skin, your liver, your organs. I know everybody's worried about the outside. The organs, right? The organs will keep all of this looking preserved. So your pituitary gland, your thyroid, what kinds of foods do they need? They definitely don't need all the chips. I used to eat the Pringles, the Entenmann's, the Drakes, all of it. You know, it's like smoking a cigarette for me. I'll tell the truth over here. Greetings, Brittany's life, sending some warm positive vibrations. So I know this is a sensitive subject. And let me say, do like, comment, respectfully, subscribe. I don't have the only perspective. However, got a family history of morbid obesity, diabetes. My grandma, one of my grandmas, if she was still alive, they would have amputated her foot. She was morbidly obese. My cousins, I mean, so many family members. And it's from lifestyle. But rather than make us bad or wrong, because that kind of shuts down possibilities and then we're feeling bad and that contributes to us wanting to go munch away our sadness, right? I invite you to consider another narrative of what is at the root of our self-soothing. And if we change our narrative, how can that show up in some different patterns, right? Not in New Year's resolution, right? Because it's debilitating to have to keep making a decision every year. I'm going to start over. And then when you don't keep your word to yourself, eventually you get jaded towards yourself because you're not keeping your word to yourself. And there's a reason why. We never do anything as humans without a reason. Never without a reason. So one of the places where it's going to show up, right, in a simple area where we are perhaps self-soothing and medicating, and that's not totally wrong. We'll talk more about that. But one of the places that can show up is in constant sweetening of our beverages, right? Because if we look, for most of us, if we look down at our midsections, right? Well, these commercials, right? And I'm someone who's worked in fitness and I am a chef. It's constantly the ideas being put out to us that we need more protein, more protein, more protein. So if we can just distinguish and make the distinction the status quo, the program, or the ideal for fitness usually is the bodybuilder, right? And especially women, but women and men, we are in no danger of bulking up like that. We just aren't, unless you're taking steroids in the bathroom. Because most of us, we don't have those hormones, and most of us are not training nearly with the amount of volume and consistency that would give us those results, right? And I'm saying this because many women will say, oh, I don't want to exercise because I get bulky. Well, a lot of times you could be building muscle, which is a very extremely slow process. Sometimes just the water retention and adipose tissue, which is a technical term for fatty tissue, is looking more pronounced on top of the muscle. So the lifestyle practices, peaceful consumption, food that loves you back, garden therapy, and a personal movement practice. These are the cornerstones of my lifestyle. They're lifestyle practices, and they are practices that you have access to. They don't cost you anything. They are free. If anything, you invest some time in some education. With showing up to your movement practice, right? Take your excuses along with you. Let the excuses come along for the ride. Let the excuses come with you to the workout. Because if we want different results, we'll have to do something different. Ruminating, thinking without getting into action, we're still in the same place. So constantly sweetening our drinks, right? Most of us are taking in a lot more calories or units of energy or gas more than our tank needs. And many of us, we don't have a reference point for exactly how much fuel does our car need, right? And we talk more about this in coaching on Sundays. Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our weekly meeting for Flower Fit and Body-Culinary community. And then we also have private coaching for whole living foods and fitness. It's just whole, fresh, living, unprocessed foods. If there's going to be any processing, you do it and you keep it at a minimal so you know exactly what's in your food. There are a lot of blind spots that are missing for, especially as women. And then we get frustrated and then we give up and we stop pursuing and say, oh, what the heck, I might as well go get those Swedish wafers and just go get some chips and some ice cream and call it a day. But it doesn't have to be that way. There's so much to look forward to. And in terms of sweetening drinks, today I don't use sweetener, which to me is amazing. One time I could have never, ever imagined drinking a cup of tea without sugar. And y'all know the drill. You go from sugar to brown sugar. Then you discover brown sugar was white sugar with molasses. Then you go to turbinado sugar, which is supposedly the dried sugar cane, right? And then you go to sugar in the raw, which same thing, turbinado sugar. Then you go to honey, then maple syrup. Now there's monk fruit, all of these sweeteners. But if we really consider it, are we tasting the natural sweetness of the food and how much sugar do we need? And could perhaps taking in more sugar than we need be affecting our ability to focus? Could it be affecting our pancreas, right? Because the body's expecting energy in whole foods every time we put these sweeteners in. And who has a vested interest in educating us about this? And the top, and put a cherry on top of it, there's such an overload of information. It can be really confusing to swim through all of this stuff. So I like to think and communicate in pictures to make things really, really simple. I know we like to eat recreationally. I love to eat as well. But when we're eating and sweetness is hitting that tongue, your brain is expecting nutrition. And many of us are taking in, we can look at our midsections, right? And we can see that we're taking in a lot more than we need. And the midsection is the most dangerous place to store adipose tissue, right? If the body is storing a lot of adipose tissue to the point where your waistline is starting, or your hips are starting to come, your waistline is starting to come out over your pants, that's a precursor. That's a red flag, right? It's one thing for us to be curvy and voluptuous, but another thing when we start storing waste or adipose tissue, that's a technical term for fatty tissue around the waistline, right? That's telling us some signals about our body's ability to produce insulin, to process these sugars. Also, our liver may be toxic and not be filtering out toxins, right? The liver takes a hit all day, every day. And then also, our organs could be clogged and sludgy. So perhaps thinking in very practical terms can be a shortcut from dieting or trying really hard to do something. I like to say, when you get clear, and I like to eat. One of my first health consultations, I just went the opposite direction. This man told me all these different things to do, and I thought they could be right. I didn't recognize most of the things on the list that he recommended, but I felt like there's nothing to eat, so there's no way I'm doing it. Screw this. Years later, I came all the way back around, and everything this gentleman had recommended was on point. But I just could not wrap my mind around taking everything away from me. No sweetener, no white potato, no this. And I was like, what am I supposed to eat? Can y'all relate? Can anyone relate out there? If you've endeavored to change the way that you eat and you feel like there's nothing left to eat. So, a resource for you to check out, Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. You can find that on body-culinary.com. All the questions that people would ask me about sustaining whole living foods as a lifestyle for 11, 12 years. I answer a lot of those questions and put pictures in there of what I've been doing all these years, in addition to different budgets and spending plans and what I would shop for, right? And some ideas on what I could possibly prepare, right? If you had a lot of acne like me, and a lot of scarring, it cleared up with whole living foods for me 100%, right? 100% is what cleared up my food, is my face and my skin, as well as having a vigorous movement practice. So you can find those things over on the website, as well as the Goddess Vegan Cakes Workshop. So what else can we sweeten with? Like, can you take your tea or your drinks without honey? And then what's a serving size? Usually, if you look at the package, it'll say a teaspoon, but we know if you like to eat, that's not enough. 1 teaspoon, it's like you're not really tasting the sugar. So you can't imagine, and a lot of times we don't drink 1 cup of tea, we're getting so much added sugar all day long. And as we've been mentioning this week, talking about type 3 diabetes, I don't know if you're all aware, put in the comments, let me know if you've heard of type 3. Now we're up to a type 6 diabetes. Though type 3 diabetes is the progression of type 2. Type 1 is you're born with. Type 2 is a result of our lifestyle, and type 3 is an extension. And now it's being said that Alzheimer's is type 3. So that's what your mind wrap around that. Our brain is taking a hit from all of this processed, refined sugar. And if we had eaten the whole food, the whole fruit, the whole thing with the skin, you have all that fiber, right? And that living water, which is missing in processed foods. So I like to make these distinctions. Just, it's not right or wrong, just so you can let it mull over, turn it over in your brain. And once you know what you need to do, okay, now I need to roll up my sleeves. What else can I have? Because if you take something away, you don't want to leave, a void. You want to put something in there. That can go a long way to helping you cool out and feel very relaxed about making changes and upgrading your fuel source. So today, I have a tea leaf in here that's naturally sweet. Now you can also grow this in your yard. Now I don't do this all the time because I'm used to taking teas and things without sweetener. Though today I have a stevia leaf. Now many people not really into the processed foods. I'll try anything. But the stevia leaf usually you're buying in the store, most people don't like it because most of it, maybe I've tried one and a half stevias back in the day when I used to take the stevia packets. Most of them have a really bitter aftertaste, right? So I think nature is giving us some clues as to portions. Portions are built in as to sweeteners, right? But we're taking our cues from marketing and products, right? You think about it, cucumbers and strawberries don't need a whole lot of commercials because they're simple and then they rot. Yet all the different products that have remnants of the strawberry and remnants of the banana, because they've been so highly processed, you're not really getting the nutritive values of the food anymore. You're definitely not getting the living water, right? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Is this making sense to y'all? Because I like to think that I'm processing this all very simply. And the simpler you get it, once you can wrap your mind around making these distinctions, you can really get clear, and clarity is worth its weight in gold when you're looking to have the momentum and the energy to activate or reactivate your personal movement practice and to activate upgrading your fuel and perhaps cleaning out all of that processed food. For some people, that's a tremendous undertaking. Some of us are holding on to this stuff and giving it away to people. Some of us are like, I'm not giving that processed food that caused me diabetes. I'm not going to give it to someone else. So if we remove it, we definitely want to put something else in its place. So I'm not going to go on too long today. I just wanted to share with you and just find out there's some other ways to sweeten. And in the evolution of our eating, this is one option, not the only option. Whatever you're doing is not right or wrong, it's just wherever you are. There's another level of getting to, you can appreciate the subtle sweetness inherent in foods, right? In the fruits and vegetables and the herbs and the plants. As a matter of fact, if I think about it, most of the animal flesh that we cook, usually fruits are added to it. Fruit sauces or ketchups or balsamics, which are grapes, usually fruits and salt are added to it for the taste. So most of us wouldn't eat, and I used to eat everything, by the way, right? If I felt eating animal flesh was healthy for me, that's what I would eat. And again, you'll have to find your own sweet spot that works for you, and it is a journey. There's no way around taking responsibility and doing your own self-experimentation. So again, it's a journey, right? So for me to be drinking tea with no sweetener and to be able to taste the fresh ginger and taste the fresh cinnamon is mind-blowing, because I was so tripped out on all the health junk. First regular health junk, and then all the health junk inside the store. So one more note before I hop out of here. If you're having issues with blood sugar, and now a lot of the population is moving around pre-diabetic, and sometimes we can see the symptoms there, cognitive dissonance is off the meters, yet sometimes we're just waiting for the diagnosis. So you can start to look into your body. If your urine smells different when you pee, if you're urinating a lot, and then also if you're putting on a lot around your stomach. At a basic level, we're either eating too much or we're not processing. The body's communicating with you how it's handling what you're putting into it. So I invite you to create some support for yourself, as we were discussing this morning in Harriet Squats. That's our 5 a.m. workout, Monday through Friday. It's Harriet Squats Eastern Standard Time, and Friday is a community class. So feel free to fill out the application, download the Discord app, fill all that out, send it in. And Friday is donation based, so no one is turned away. We just want to make sure it is a safe space. That is my priority. If I cannot recognize you, identify a name, face, email, then I won't accept into it. So that's a priority, safe space for women, young people, children, right? So feel free to fill out the application and join us over on the Discord app for Flower Fit. And we have coaching community if you're starting a garden. If you're interested in eating healthy and you want some good company and some positive accountability, do check out Flower Fit Community. And then it's also private group coaching on Sundays. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you able to drink your tea without sweetener? Do you think that perhaps we keep our brain, our nervous system, our taste buds on the whole stroll? Are we keeping them on the whole stroll? Are we keeping ourselves locked into that pattern? Are we continually building stronger neural pathways where we gotta have sugar? And then we wonder why it's so hard to break some of these really deeply ingrained patterns of eating and consuming mindlessly, especially when we're in an environment of what I would call triggeration. A lot of stress coming at us from things that we didn't ask to hear, things we didn't ask to see, our jobs. Is a lot. So to build a protective hedge and to have a release with your movement practice, starting a garden, whether you're paying rent or mortgage, and peaceful consumption, food that loves you back. These are simple litmus tests that will serve you when other folks stop serving you. So check out Kwasapeacefull Eating on TikTok, Kwasa with a K, Peaceful Eating. I also post on Body-Culinary on Instagram, YouTube, and teeny tiny bit on Facebook. I just want to use social media, make a positive use of social media, because there's so much distraction, and hopefully you're getting something back. Hopefully, when you're on this channel, you are inspired to get into action around what you say you value. Hopefully one of those things is your health, right? And we have some activities that are highly enjoyable: the garden, movement practice, peaceful consumption. Inviting you all to create a great day on purpose. And hopefully I'll see you at 5 a.m. You might have to go to bed a little bit early. Your skin and your liver will love it. See you soon. If you have any questions, reach out to me at info@body-culinary.com.